goodness. We are here with Zach Spuckler, who is going to give us so much value today in the magic of his 5-day challenges that he helps other business owners to use so that they can bring in massive amount of leads, massive amount of moolah. And my favorite part of it is that you put out so much value that your audience, Zach told me this in the beginning, that your audience will literally be saying halfway through it, oh my gosh, this is so good. I can't wait till I can pay you. He said that would happen. I didn't believe it was true. And it was. Hooray. So we're here with Zach. Zach, if you want to give a little hey, hello.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. All right, so I just kind of want to explain where I was at when I first did my 5-figure launch with Zach, and how as you know, if you've been around the Prepared Performer, you know that I am all about live video. I think it is such an amazing tool because it allows us to connect with our audience, right? So good. And I'm so glad that we have people on live. Hooray. If you have any questions, make sure that you put them below because Zach and I will be back to answer them. But the place that I was at is that I was doing a lot of individual reaching out. So my videos were doing really well. They were converting. I did loads of master classes. But what I needed, especially being crazy creative person that I am, I needed an actual system that I could follow. And when I heard about Zach's program, I watched like 2 of the videos that you had done in the free challenge. And I was like, this is great. I'm not even going to watch the rest because I'm buying it. I was like, no. I remember being in a parking lot in Huntington Beach and I was watching them on my phone and I was like, yep, I'll come back for the sales pitch later. It's so good. So what happened, so good. And I also want to give you such a huge shout out because in the group, he is in there all the time, literally every day answering questions. It's like having your own personal assistant as a coach with this. It's insanely valuable. So even before we get to the actual course, starting on Monday, he's going to be doing a free version of this 5-figure challenge and show you exactly how you can do this in your business. So valuable. For me, I put this stuff into action. I launched it. And within 5 days after the end of the challenge and using some of the follow-up that he teaches you how to do, I brought in 6 figures, over $6,000 with this little challenge. What? So amazing. Awesome. And that was just my first time doing it. And I'm the worst at follow-up, so I didn't actually finish the system the way that he taught to do it. So the next time that I do it, I know it'll be even better because I'll actually make sure that I do all of the goodness that is there. The other thing is that it brought in over like 300, 400 people to my list who are all people who have now signed up for other things within my things that I have to offer. And the most important thing for me, like I said earlier, is that it provided so much value that my audience was like really grateful. None of it felt like I was being a weird salesy, we get that icky stuff that happens with sales, and none of it felt like that. It was all just super high value. So Zach is going to give us some of the reasons that this system works. And hopefully then I will also share the link below so that you guys can sign up for the free challenge. So make sure that you comment below if you want it because it's going to be good. Go for it, Zach. Tell us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. And we love your case study because I've got a little echo, just so you know.
Oh, I don't hear it. It seems good. You guys, Christine, Jean, let us know if there's an echo on your side.
Okay, just checking. Okay. So I'm just going to turn it down a little bit so it doesn't throw me off, but then I'll turn it back up when we're talking. So I love your case study so much because just as a side note, we call the program the 5-figure challenge, but we call it that not because we guarantee a $10,000 challenge, but because it's a system that really scales up to that. So when you did one of your first launches and made 6,000, we were so excited to see that. And a lot of what you're saying is like that potential there is really amazing. And so we just love that so much. So I wanted to kind of pop on with you guys today and talk about some of the reasons that challenges work so well. And it's almost kind of funny because we just sent out a podcast today that was like, is a challenge right for our business? And one of the big things that we get from people is like, well, I'm already using live video, or I'm already doing this, or I've already tried a webinar. So do I really need a challenge in my business? Or the more subtle or less subtle, I should say, version is like, do I really need to learn how to do a 5-day challenge? Super common thing we hear. So the first thing that I like to tell people is that the way that I teach 5-day challenges and the way that my team supports them is that it is a launching system. So yes, we call them 5-day challenges. Yes, it is about teaching 5 days of content, but it's actually a really comprehensive system to launch. We call it a challenge because it follows the basic structure, but really what people don't realize is that if you are in a digital space of any kind, I feel confident making a very bold statement that you need to launch. If you want to build your business, you need to launch. Launching does so much. We have this, there's this almost dogmatic thing in the industry that everyone's heard, which is like, your business is your list, or you have to build your list to build your business. And yes, that's true. But one of the big issues that we saw in the marketplace is that so many people are building their list and then they're not making any money. So what does having a list do? So I was introduced to this concept over the past year by one of my mentors, James Wedmore, who told me, I was like, yeah, I'd really love to launch this, but I need to build my list first. And he looked me dead in the eye and he said, your launch builds your list. You don't need to build your list to launch. And so we really got to working on how can we apply that principle to people who are just getting started, right? Because I'm very candid in saying we're going into a big launch. I have a Facebook ads person. I have an assistant. We have somebody who's managing our copy and our social media and our images. Not everybody has that, right? Not everybody can throw down $20,000 on advertising. And so we stepped back and said, what is a really succinct system that can let people build their list without a lot of risk, market their product without a lot of sales experience or even sales technique? I love what you said that, like, honestly, just a few days in, you're not even selling, but people are being primed to buy. So even if your sales pitch is kind of haphazard or you're still new or you're still getting your feet wet, we wanted a system that the sales kind of happened anyway. And then the last thing is, as a result of launching, you get all of this extra benefit, which is like every time we launch, someone reaches out. Can I be an affiliate? Do you want to be on my podcast? Can I interview you? Do you want to interview me? I mean, we've had really great reach. We did a really awesome launch, and it opened a door for somebody kind of noticed us. And I got an introduction to Neil Patel, who we had on our podcast. And it's just like, so much of those things get lost on the, yeah, exactly. So much of those get lost on the you need to build your list side of things. Like, all that's doing is insulating yourself with a community, which is great, but it leaves a lot to be desired. And so when we step back and we played with it, I run, I don't even know how many now, several really high level challenges. And we found that this is a system that works for people at a very introductory level. And so I went in and I kind of reverse engineered what I was doing, because like I said, it's not fair, and I'm fully aware of that. And in fact, one of the ways that we're marketing this program now is it's less about what I've done with challenges and more about what my students have done with challenges, which I love. But we said, how can we make this more approachable? And so what it really breaks down to is you're providing a high amount of value to your audience so that they know what it's like to work with you. They know what kind of content you provide, and they know what kind of results you can create for them in a short amount of time, so that your webinar doesn't have to be, I always say your webinar needs to be light, tight, and just right. It took us 9 months to get our webinar performing the way it does. Like, it's not, you don't just pick it up and
also, right?
Yeah,
like
you don't just pick up.
Time it takes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, video series are amazing, but like, I have a friend who's doing a video series. They're like $25,000 into the video series before the launch even happens. And that's not a bad thing. Like, they have the business and the money to do that, but that is what it takes to do a real video series, right? Like, the person who does the video series in their house with like the Logitech camera, like, yes, I know a couple of people who've pulled it off, but the majority of people pulling it off are not doing that. And so we remove that kind of, you need a strong structure in your webinar. You need a perfect video series too. If you can just map out your content right, which is actually so simple when you understand how to do it, people are excited to buy on day 5 because you've showed up really authentically, and they're just ready to buy from you. So, I mean, that was a really long-winded answer, but I think it's important to get that a challenge is a launch system. A launch builds your business. And if you can plug all of those pieces together, you might make $6,000 this time. But I can tell you from personal experience, our challenges have gone from, our first challenge did like 20,000, our last challenge did 130. And we just had a student do a $175,000 challenge. So we know that this is a very scalable system, but it starts with plugging into business fundamentals that I think if I can be so bold as to say, I think some people are afraid to teach because they think it'll scare people away. But we like to lead with foundational business fundamentals of invest a little bit in ads and see what happens. Build out a system first. Stop worrying about your sweet little checklist in Canva and put an offer out into the world. So that's
actually, I was going to say that earlier about the Facebook ads thing, because I think a lot of people are afraid to say, I actually did spend some money on the marketing of this, because they're afraid that other people won't want to purchase their program if it's not a way to do it for free after investing in the skills of the program. But if you're running a business, like, people spend money on advertising when they have an actual business.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're very adamant about that. And I like to say, I think that you were a perfect example of this. I don't think you spent a crazy amount on Facebook ads. Like, we hear these big numbers. Like, so I told you guys, we're spending $20,000 on our ads this round is like our budget, up to $25,000. But that's because we're trying to do this massive launch. When you're really trying to get to this, $5,000 to $10,000 level, a few $100s on ads is like more than enough. And I say that from the experience of my students. Like, for me, I would rather spend way more money. But we've seen our students spend, $100, $200 and get massive results. So part of what we teach in the program is actually how to spend a minimal amount on ads by creating we don't really call it this in the program because we know if we throw too much, people will get thrown off by it. But it's essentially a lead generating system or funnel that pushes people into your challenge. We call it the smallest big challenge system, but it's a very succinct system designed to push people into your challenge.
And you have so many ways of explaining how you can do these things with organic reach as well. Like, that's another thing too, that you're not. So it's you want to do it at a small level. I've seen a lot of people, the community is so great in the group. And I've seen a lot of people say, I only spent $30 on ads and these were the results that I got. Awesome. Yep. I spent about 300 and also it's a great way to test out your content to see if it will even land, to make sure that you have the right audiences in mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, I want to give some shout outs. So Shatay said, your launch builds your list. Love that. Yahoo. Shatay's amazing. She's rocking her live videos. So Shatay, this would be so good for you too. I love it.
Love it.
Awesome. So if anybody has any questions, like I said before, make sure you comment below. I will be sharing the links. If you want the link to sign up for the free version of this, where he's going to be, I can't tell you how much amazing information there is in the free version, figuring out exactly how to put your content together and that kind of stuff in this version that he's starting on the 20th, which is on Monday. So comment below and say, give it the challenge, and I will make sure that I get you that link. And it's been amazing to have you here. I cannot say enough about how powerful this program is. More than any other course I've ever taken. And I've taken a lot of online courses. So I just really want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I will say, our free challenge, we have a really big thing, where if you commit to doing the free challenge, my commitment to you is that you will walk away knowing what your challenge should be on and having a sense of what the content should be. We're super transparent about our sales. Like, obviously on day 5, we're going to offer something for sale. But we guarantee that if you show up and do the work, you will get something out of our free content. That is absolutely paramount and a core tenet of our business, that people should never be walking away from a launch feeling like you dropped your name and email in to get sold to for 2 weeks. You dropped your name and email in to get the great content. I have no bones about the fact that we have a program for sale, but we want to make sure that you get a really amazing experience. We've already got literally thousands of people signed up. This is going to be our biggest challenge ever. We're ridiculously excited for it. And even if you're somebody who's just interested in challenges and how they work, it would be a fantastic idea to sign up just to watch. Like, I'm somebody who signs up just to watch how things are happening. You will learn a ton no matter what. So thank you so much for having me, Molly. It's been a blast, and I can't wait to see some of your people in the challenge.
And the results that you guys get, because how cool that one of your students is making more on their challenge than you had done.
Yes, I love it. I love when that happens.
The best ever. So good. So good. All right, you guys, I cannot wait to see you in that challenge group. I'm going to be there with you because this stuff is so good. And I know connecting with everybody has taught me a lot as well. So I'll be in there with you. Get in there. Let's get some accountability buddies, because that's another thing that we do in the challenge is you have someone to hold you accountable and make sure that you're actually doing the work. Right? Because it doesn't work if you don't.
We just posted it this morning, and we just sent an email to everybody to get their accountability buddies.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Okay. One little question. Monica says, I have a network marketing business in beauty. Could I use the challenge to get more customers?
Yes. So yes and no. I like to be really transparent about network marketing. So our products are not geared specifically to network marketing individuals, because most network marketing companies encourage you to do very one-to-one marketing. And that is just directly against what I teach in most of my programs. Now, it doesn't mean one-to-one marketing is bad. I still close clients one-on-one. But the way the challenge is structured is what we call one-to-many marketing. So it totally works really well, but you have to be open to kind of taking an online marketing approach. That's one. And then the second thing is, most network marketing companies or direct sales companies profit in one of two ways. Your profit really comes from building a team or from recurring sales. And so you have to be willing to do a little bit of groundwork on marketing to determine what we call LTV. We had somebody do our program, really great network marketer, good personal friend, and she was like, I only made $90 on my challenge. And I was like, right, but you made $90 with 3 recurring customers on an average of 4 months. So what you actually made is $400 or $360 or $400, but you have to be willing to do that math. So network marketing can get a little dicey, but it does work incredibly well. You just have to be open to like stepping outside of the network marketing bubble and trying some new stuff. So I like to just be really candid about that.
I love that this question was asked, and I love that you answered it that way. And I would love to add something to it too, because from what I've seen with the people that I've worked with, I have one really good friend who is a coach for network marketers, Carla Silver, and she actually teaches network marketers how to do all like funnels, all online marketing stuff. And so many people in direct sales or network marketing are afraid to do that and not willing to invest in Facebook ads, or not willing to really, I'm going to be super frank right now, but not really ready to treat it like an actual business, because they think that they can just make these little things work. But if you want to actually grow, Monica, on like a huge scale, or if you have something super valuable to offer, I would challenge you to look at this in a way where you notice that you don't only have products that you offer in your business. You probably could throw a service or two that's accompanying your products. And maybe there's a way that you can launch some sort of little mini program. If you're selling, I think you said you sell beauty products. So you could launch like a mini program teaching people how to use makeup in general. And then you're selling that. And then that could convert into more sales as well. So there's, like Zach said, there's ways to be really creative with this. And if you are willing to actually recognize that you have a full-on business and not just I'm selling little things here and there, but see the total picture, it could be a really awesome thing for you.
Awesome.
Yeah, amazing. And the other thing that gets tricky is that with a lot of direct sales and stuff, we can't, and I just saw this in the group, you can't have pixels. The Facebook pixel thing is hard because you can't put it on. Yeah. If you're just selling a little product, it can be difficult. So get creative. Awesome. Thank you so much, Zach. Comment below if you guys want this. I'm going to get you the link, and go like Zach's Facebook page. Go follow, literally listen to his podcast, do everything that he does. Trust him. He's brilliant.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Bye.